Hi guys, and here I am with the very next part of the pronouns, and hope you enjoyed the previous videos. If you are continuing these parts, then don't miss the previous videos so that you can get the absolute information regarding the parts of speech. So now today in this session we will be going through the next part. In the last session we have done the first part of pronouns, and in this session we will be going through the second part of pronouns. Okay, fine. So hope you all are doing well. Before I start my session, this is again a request to like, share and subscribe my channel, so and click on the bell icon so that you will never miss any updates. Okay, fine. So let's start the session now. Fine. So let's see what's there in today's session. Now, in last class, what we have done is we have learned the definition of pronouns, and we went through this types of pronouns. There are all total 10 types, and apart from that we have read the pronoun antecedent agreement and such rules on personal pronoun. And today we will go for the reflexive pronoun, right? आज हम रिफ्लेक्सिव प्रोनाउन के बारे में पढ़ेंगे. रिफ्लेक्सिव का मतलब जैसे मैंने आपको पहले कहा था, लास्ट वीडियोस में मैंने आपको समझाया था, रिफ्लेक्शन जो रिफ्लेक्सिव मतलब रिफ्लेक्शन या जो एक्शन रिफ्लेक्ट बैक होता है सब्जेक्ट के ऊपर, उसको हम लोग रिफ्लेक्सिव प्रोनाउन के नाम में जानते हैं. एंड इन शॉर्ट आई मेड यू अंडरस्टैंड दैट इफ वी ऐड सेल्फ और सेल्फ्स वर्ड to the personal pronoun, then it becomes reflexive. Again I repeat, अगर हम लोग self या self's word एक personal pronoun में add करें तो वो आपका बन जाता है reflexive. ठीक है, fine. So what rule number 1 states here? Now see, try to understand the concept. ये बोलना क्या चाहता है, right? आपको इसको रट्टा नहीं मारना है. You should not have to mug up. You have to understand that what it deals with, why it is so, how it became, and easily you will get through it, right? And whatever error detection will come from this part, it will be very easy for you to solve. Now the first rule states that reflexive pronoun cannot be used as a subject. Reflexive pronoun एक सब्जेक्ट के हिसाब से यूज नहीं होगा, और एन ऑब्जेक्ट, ना ही वो सब्जेक्ट में यूज होगा ना ही वो ऑब्जेक्ट में यूज होगा. तो किस में यूज होगा? ओके, ना ही वो सब्जेक्ट में यूज होगा ना ही वो ऑब्जेक्ट में यूज होगा. सो नाउ अनलेस अ नाउन और प्रोनाउन कम्स बिफोर इट. नाउ सी, इफ आई विल से रवि, अगर रवि है तो ही हिमसेल्फ आएगा, राइट? अगर जैसे मैं बोलूं टाउन, अगर टाउन है तो ही इटसेल्फ आएगा, राइट? तो नाउन या अगर कोई पर्सनल प्रोनाउन होगा तो ही तो रिफ्लेक्शन आएगा ना. अगर नाउन या फिर प्रोनाउन ना हो, नाउन या फिर पर्सनल प्रोनाउन ना हो तो रिफ्लेक्शन नहीं आ सकता. सो दैट इज व्हाट इट स्टेटेड इन द रूल, दैट रिफ्लेक्सिव प्रोनाउन कैन नॉट बी यूज्ड एज अ सब्जेक्ट और एन ऑब्जेक्ट ऑफ अ सेंटेंस अनलेस अ नाउन और प्रोनाउन कम्स बिफोर इट. सो रिफ्लेक्सिव प्रोनाउन तभी यूज हो सकता है अगर एक नाउन और एक पर्सनल प्रोनाउन उसके बिफोर हो या फिर उसके सामने हो. अगर नहीं है तो आप डायरेक्ट एक सब्जेक्ट में या डायरेक्ट एक ऑब्जेक्ट में रिफ्लेक्सिव प्रोनाउन का यूज नहीं कर सकते हो, राइट? सो आई हैव गिवन सम एग्जांपल्स हियर, जस्ट गो थ्रू इट. फर्स्ट इज यू एंड ही रीच्ड देयर इन टाइम. समटाइम्स it will be written in your error detection sentence like you and himself reached there in time. ये गलत हो जाएगा, right? Otherwise it will be given like this, yourself and himself reached there in time. तो ये भी गलत हो जाएगा, right? So how to write? You and he reached there in time, not yourself and he. Got the point? So you and he reached there in time, not yourself and he. Okay, next my father and I. now देखो यहाँ पर सब्जेक्ट आपका कौन है? my father and I. तो यहाँ पर आप ऐसे नहीं लिख सकते हो my father and myself, ठीक है? क्योंकि ये सब्जेक्ट के हिसाब से काम कर रहा है. अगर वो सब्जेक्ट के हिसाब से काम किया तो वो सब्जेक्टिव केस में रहेगा. ओके, myself रोहित from Mumbai. now see, some people are there when they give their intro, when they give their introduction, they start stating like this, myself Ravi, myself Rohit, myself Rima. So this is wrong, right? This is not a formal way of speaking. हाउ टू स्पीक, आई एम रोहित फ्रॉम मुंबई, तो यहाँ पर माई सेल्फ नहीं लगेगा. ओके, नेक्स्ट, रीटा विल शॉप फॉर मी. रीटा विल शॉप फॉर मी, यू कैन नॉट राइट रीटा विल शॉप फॉर माई सेल्फ, राइट, क्योंकि यहाँ पर आपका सब्जेक्ट रीटा हो गया और आपका ऑब्जेक्ट मी हो गया. सो प्रोनाउन एक्टिंग एज अ सब्जेक्ट मस्ट बी इन सब्जेक्टिव केस और नॉमिनेटिव केस. प्रोनाउन एक्टिंग एज एन ऑब्जेक्ट मस्ट बी इन ऑब्जेक्टिव केस, राइट. तो यहाँ पर आप माई सेल्फ क्यों लगाओगे, यहाँ पर क्या लगाओगे, आप ऑब्जेक्टिव केस लगाए. क्या हो गया ऑब्जेक्टिव केस, फॉर मी. ओके, क्लियर. नेक्स्ट, use reflexive pronoun with transitive verbs. Now see here I have given some of the words. Maximum times we used to get these words in your paper, in the examination paper. So that's what I have given some words here, and in many books also you will find the same words. So ये words को हम लोग transitive words बोलते हैं. And in the very next slide you will find the intransitive words, right? अगर आप इसको गूगल भी करो तो आपको मिल जाएगा. तो यहाँ पर ये बोला जा रहा है that we use reflexive pronoun with a transitive verb. Then यहाँ पर मैंने लिखा है in rule number 3, we do not use reflexive pronoun with intransitive verb. Now my dear students, first of all you need to understand what is transitive and what is intransitive verb. So let us understand here what is transitive and what is intransitive verb. Right. Okay, so now it's very simple. Just you have to remember, now I am writing here, needs an object. Needs an object. तो अगर मैं ट्रांजिटिव वर्ब के बारे में बात करूं तो ट्रांजिटिव वर्ब क्या होता है, एक ऐसा वर्ब जो एक ऑब्जेक्ट के बिना इनकम्प्लीट है, right? So if you write that verb adding an object, then only the sentence will be meaningful. But if you are adding that verb without an object, it will not be meaningful. That means transitive verb always requires an object. Understand? So the definition will be a verb that needs an object will be considered as a transitive verb. Fine. So now you can say it answers the question of what or whom. अगर कोई एक वर्ब ट्रांजिटिव वर्ब है वो what और whom का आंसर देगा, राइट. अगेन आई एम रिपीटिंग, ट्रांजिटिव वर्ब क्या होता है, इट नीड्स एन ऑब्जेक्ट, अ वर्ब दैट नीड्स एन ऑब्जेक्ट. एंड व्हाट इट डज, इट आंसर्स द क्वेश्चन ऑफ व्हाट एंड whom. ये याद रखना, दिस इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. अगर कोई वर्ब को आप यूज करके what और whom का आंसर निकालते हो उसको हम बोलते हैं ट्रांजिटिव वर्ब. गॉट माई पॉइंट? फाइन. सो नाउ लेट्स टेक एग्जाम्पल, यू विल बेटर अंडरस्टैंड फ्रॉम दैट. जस्ट अ सेकेंड. फाइन. सो सपोज आई राइट अ क्वेश्चन, आई लाइक full stop. I like full stop. Same way I wrote he stole full stop. Then again I wrote I invited. Right? तो यहां पर देखो, आप सेंटेंस को ट्राई करो, एनालाइज करो. I like. So now the question is I like what? मैं क्या लाइक करती हूँ? I like what? So again a question mark here. I like what? Right? That means here the word like is arising the question of what? यहां पर जो वर्ब है like वो किसका क्वेश्चन अराइज कर रहा है? what? I like what? Suppose I write I like cake और I like chocolates. That means यहां पर I आपका सब्जेक्ट हो गया, like आपका वर्ब हो गया और केक आपका ऑब्जेक्ट हो गया. दैट मीन्स हियर द वर्ड और द वर्ब लाइक रिक्वायर्स वन ऑब्जेक्ट. अभी तो स्टेटमेंट कंप्लीट हो गया. आई लाइक केक अगर लिख रहे हो तो. नेक्स्ट, ही स्टोल व्हाट? ही इज द सब्जेक्ट, स्टोल इज माई वर्ब, स्टील, स्टोल, स्टोलन, राइट. स्टोल इज माई वर्ब, ही स्टोल व्हाट? राइट. सो ही स्टोल माई पेन. नाउ द सेंटेंस इज कंप्लीट. ही स्टोल माई पेन. दैट मीन्स दिस वर्ब requires one object to make it a meaningful sentence. Clear? Same way, I invited. Whom you invited? I invited. So I is subject, invited is your verb, whom you invited. Now here it arises the question of whom. right? In the first two statement it arises the question of what. In the third statement it arises the question of whom, right? तो अगर कोई एक वर्ब what या whom का आंसर दे तो उसको हम लोग बोलते हैं ट्रांजिटिव वर्ब. दैट मीन्स ट्रांजिटिव वर्ब रिक्वायर्स वन ऑब्जेक्ट. सो आई इन्वाइटेड माई फ्रेंड्स, यू कैन राइट लाइक दिस, आई इन्वाइटेड माई फ्रेंड्स. तो अब स्टेटमेंट कंप्लीट हुआ. नाउ द स्टेटमेंट इज मीनिंगफुल. ओके, सो हियर द वर्ड लाइक, stole, invited, these all verbs, they are considered under transitive verbs. Clear हुआ? So what I told you in the reflexive pronoun part is that whenever you find a transitive verb you have to use a reflexive pronoun. अगर आपको एक transitive verb मिला, जैसे कि for example acquit, avail, reconcile, amuse, resign, avenge, exert, apply, adapt, adjust, pride, absent, enjoy, etc. are known as what? Transitive verbs. So you have to use what? You have to use a reflexive pronoun for this. Now let's go through some examples. He has raised himself in the eyes of the teachers. Right? He has raised himself in the eyes of the teachers. So now he has raised. Let's put a full stop here. He has raised. So now he has raised. He has raised what? Now again it arises a question. So in the eyes of the teacher, this is a prepositional phrase, right? He has raised himself in the eyes of the teacher. So now raised will be considered under transitive, so you have used here himself. Rita cut herself while peeling apples. Cut herself. I pride myself on being able to walk smoothly under pressure too. Pride myself. We went Goa and enjoyed ourselves. Now see, this word is very important, enjoyed, and we got many a times question from this word. That's what I have written in note, that if enjoyed is followed by an object, if enjoyed is followed by an object, we do not use reflexive pronoun, right? अगर enjoy एक object को follow कर रहा है तो हम लोग reflexive pronoun use नहीं करेंगे, ठीक है? बट अगर वो कर रहा है तो हम लोग यूज करेंगे. गॉट माई पॉइंट? ओके, नाउ लेट्स कम टू द थर्ड रूल. आई हैव ऑलरेडी सेड अबाउट दिस, दैट डू नॉट यूज रिफ्लेक्सिव प्रोनाउंस विथ इंट्रांजिटिव वर्ब. आई जस्ट मेड यू अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट इज ट्रांजिटिव. नाउ लेट अस अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट इज इंट्रांजिटिव वर्ब. नाउ ट्रांजिटिव में मैंने बोला कि अगर एक वर्ब को ऑब्जेक्ट की जरूरत हो तो वो ट्रांजिटिव हो गया, तो उसका ऑपोजिट होगा इंट्रांजिटिव. अगर एक वर्ब अपने आप में ही कंप्लीट हो, राइट, इफ द वर्ब सेटिस्फाइड इटसेल्फ, देयर इज नो रिक्वायरमेंट ऑफ एन ऑब्जेक्ट, देन दैट विल कंसिडर अंडर intransitive verb. So you can say the definition of intransitive like do not need an object with them, right? Verbs that do not need an object. Verb that do not need an object with them. Transitive ऑब्जेक्ट चाहता है या ऑब्जेक्ट वहां पर रखना जरूरी है, बट इंट्रांजिटिव में ऑब्जेक्ट्स रखना जरूरी नहीं है, बिकॉज द वर्ब क्वालिफाइज इटसेल्फ, वो अपने आप में ही कंप्लीट होते हैं, राइट? सो नाउ लेट अस टेक सम एग्जांपल्स ऑफ इंट्रांजिटिव वर्ब्स एंड मेक दिस क्लियर. सो नाउ सपोज आई राइट he was laughing, right? So he is your subject, was is your helping verb, and here what you wrote? Laughing, right? He was laughing. So now here it is not giving you any or not arising any question of what or whom. In case of transitive verbs it arises the question of what or whom, but in case of intransitive it will not arise the question of what or whom. So now he was laughing, right? So laughing, so there isn't any requirement of asking the question what at laughing or whom at laughing, right? So he was laughing. This is the complete sentence. Yes or no? So as the word laughing is written, laughing will be considered under what? Intransitive verb. Laughing will be considered under intransitive verb. That means whatever you went through in the case of transitive, the total opposite of that will be intransitive. Transitive needs object, intransitive does not. Transitive verb arises the question of what or whom, but intransitive never arises the question of what or whom, right? So he was laughing, so he is the subject. Laughing is considered under here intransitive verb. Intransitive verb, there is no requirement of reflexive pronoun over here, right? So what you understand, that where there is transitive verb, you have to use the reflexive pronoun. Where there is intransitive verb, you should not. Now keep, stop, turn, qualify, bathe, move, rest, hide, etc. will be considered under your intransitive verb, right? And further in the verbs chapter, I will explain you more related to this transitive and intransitive, and we will come across certain type of verbs, those are both transitive as well as intransitive, right? So as we are going through the pronouns chapter now, this much is only required. There is no requirement of going through more about this, right? In verbs you will get to know the brief of this one, right? Now the question or the example whatever is given for the intransitive here is, you should keep yourself away from petty politics. Remove yourself. Now see, keep here is acting as what? Keep here is acting as intransitive verb. So there is no requirement of reflexive pronoun. So you have to remove the word yourself. He hide himself in the room. No requirement of himself. He hide. This is giving you meaning. So no requirement of object here, or else or else you can say the verb gives the meaning itself. So there is no requirement of writing the himself, so you have to remove it. He hide in the room will be your correct answer, right? So now let us revise what we have come across related to reflexive pronoun. There are 3 rules that what you need to remember. Just let us make it 2. That is, first is, reflexive pronoun can never be used as a subject or an object of a sentence until and unless you find a noun or a pronoun before that, okay? And next what I said, like that wherever there is transitive verb, you have to take the use of reflexive. Wherever there is intransitive verb, you should not have to use the reflexive pronoun, right? And here the word enjoyed, in case of transitive and intransitive, one more point we get to know, that is about the word enjoyed. Enjoyed will be taking a reflexive pronoun. Enjoyed will be taking, or the word enjoyed will be taking a reflexive pronoun when? If enjoyed is followed by an object, we do not use, but enjoyed if does not followed by an object, we have to use, right? Okay. Now let's go through the distributive pronoun. Distributive pronoun also I have given you the definition in the last session or in the last video. So distributive pronoun is, you can say either, neither, or something that describes one as a whole, right? So either denotes choice between two, neither also denotes choice between two. You can say like this, means in many places you have read like this, but now see, it is not actually the same thing what we have read in many books. Means it is a matter of understanding. First of all, it is a matter of understanding. If you understand this properly, you will get to know the difference, right? So 1 out of 2 ऐसे समझ सकते हैं, अगर 1 out of 2 हुआ तो वो either हुआ, अगर 0 out of 2 हुआ तो वो neither हुआ, right? So either denotes choice between two. Remember, either के साथ दो ही, मतलब इधर दो ही चीजों में से अपना चॉइस निकालता है, राइट? और नीदर दोनों में से कोई नहीं. यहां पर भी 2 लगेगा, यहां पर भी 2 लगेगा. ये 2 से ज्यादा नहीं लेता. इधर या नीदर 2 से ज्यादा नहीं लेता. बट ये इधर क्या होता है, इधर एक को चूज करता है दोनों में से, नीदर किसी को भी चूज नहीं करता दोनों में से, राइट? बट टू इज द इंपोर्टेंट वर्ड हियर, टू, right? So now take singular verb. Now that what you will get to understand here. Either of these two pens is red. Either of these two pens is red. तो यहाँ पर either लगा, मतलब आप पर यहाँ पर two आ गया. So here is the clear indication, either और two लगा है, मतलब आपने either use किया. So that means you are selecting 1 out of 2. So and anyway this will be singular, so you added here is. So either of these two pens is red. Clear? Next, अगर 2 से ज्यादा है, either है तो 2 होगा, या फिर 2 है तो either होगा. अगर 2 से ज्यादा है तो वहां पर either नहीं लगेगा. If there will be more than 2 persons or things, you cannot use the word either there. What you have to use there? Any or one. Now see, suppose I will enter to the classroom and I will arise a question over there, and the same question I ask to the students, that any one of you can answer this, any one of you can do this. So here in the classroom there will not be only 2 students, right? There will be more than 2. तो मैंने क्या पूछा? Any one of you can answer, राइट तो अगर 2 से ज्यादा है तो हम लोग ईदर के जगह एनी नहीं तो वन यूज करते हैं. एनी और वन इज यूज टू चूज बिटवीन मेनी पर्सन्स और थिंग्स. नाउ लेट्स गो फॉर नीदर. नीदर डिनोट्स नन आउट ऑफ टू. जैसे मैंने आपको कहा था कोई भी नहीं, दोनों में से कोई भी नहीं, 0 आउट ऑफ 2. सो नीदर ऑफ द 2 गर्ल्स इज एक्टिव. तो ये भी सिंगुलर फॉर्म ही लेगा, राइट हम लोग पहले क्लास में पढ़े थे. नीदर ऑफ द 2 गर्ल्स इज एक्टिव. सो नीदर यहाँ पर आ गया, यहाँ पर 2 गर्ल्स आ गया, फिर इज आ गया. नन इज यूज्ड फॉर मोर देन 2 पर्सन्स और थिंग्स. नाउ देखो ईदर के बदले अगर आप एनी और वन यूज कर रहे हो दैट मीन्स यू आर टॉकिंग अबाउट मोर देन 2. नीदर के बदले अगर आप नन यूज करते हो दैट मीन्स यू आर टॉकिंग अबाउट मोर देन 2 पर्सन्स और थिंग्स, right? Either means 1 out of 2, neither means 0 out of 2. More than 2 means you have to use any or one in case of either. More than 2 means you have to use none in the place of neither, right? Okay, now let's move forward. Interrogative pronoun. As I said, interrogative pronoun is a questioning pronouns, right? So now see, I have given some of the important facts over here about the interrogative pronoun. This particular rule is very important. In this rule many of us find difficulty. We feel like confused that where the helping verb will come, where will be the place of the subject, where to use this, where to use that. Means there are certain questions that arise in case of this interrogative pronouns. Now read it very clearly and properly. Preposition plus whom. Preposition plus whom is correct but not preposition plus who. preposition के साथ अगर whom लगा तो वो सेंटेंस सही है. preposition के साथ अगर who लगा तो वो सेंटेंस गलत है, राइट? बट इसमें एक एक्सेप्शन भी है, तो वो चीज मैंने आपको नोट में दिया है, राइट? ए preposition इज यूज्ड एट द एंड ऑफ द सेंटेंस. देखो ट्राई करो समझने का. preposition के साथ whom लगा तो वो सेंटेंस करेक्ट है. preposition के साथ who लगा तो वो गलत है, राइट? लग सकता है, देयर आर सर्टेन एक्सेप्शंस. लग सकता है preposition प्लस who. ऐसा तो हम डायरेक्ट नहीं लिख सकते हैं बट देयर इज अ प्रॉपर स्ट्रक्चर. नाउ सी, इफ preposition इज यूज्ड एट द एंड ऑफ द सेंटेंस. अगर एक सेंटेंस के एंडिंग में preposition है, who comes at the starting of the sentence. That means what you understand, that in a normal sentence we write preposition, means we can write preposition plus whom, but preposition plus who will not be written. Preposition plus who will be written in a different way or in a different structure when preposition is used at the end of the sentence. Then in the beginning of the sentence you can write who. आप इसको जोड़ के नहीं लिख सकते हो, राइट? सो हाउ यू कैन राइट preposition के साथ who. हम लोग कैसे लगाएंगे कि अगर preposition एक सेंटेंस के एंडिंग में है तो सेंटेंस के बिगिनिंग में preposition अगर सेंटेंस के एंडिंग में preposition है तो वो सेंटेंस के बिगिनिंग में who लगेगा. दैट्स व्हाट आई हैव रिटन. preposition plus whom is correct, preposition plus who is not. If preposition is used at the end of the sentence, then who comes at the starting of the sentence. Now the example clearly depicts that. By whom was the Ramayana written? By whom was the Ramayana written? So by is a preposition here. Whom is what? Interrogative pronoun. So by whom is absolutely correct. Next, who was the Ramayana written by? Who was the Ramayana written by? Now by is used at the end of the sentence. That's what we have begin the sentence by adding the word who. So by whom is correct, but if preposition is written at the end then who comes in the beginning. Next, now see, ये जो important structure यहाँ पर लिखा हुआ है ये चीजों को आप याद रखना जरूरी से. Now see, what, whom, which, that, what, whom, which, who, whom, these all words are known as interrogative pronouns. These words are also considered under relative pronouns. But what's the difference? इसका structure कैसे होगा? That is what we need to know in the beginning before we proceed to the next part. Okay, what, WH means questioning words. WH plus helping verb. WH words plus helping verb plus subject. अगर एक क्वेश्चन वर्ड आया followed by an helping verb, उसके बाद सब्जेक्ट आया, then that is interrogative form, means interrogative structural form. But अगर एक दो सेंटेंस को जोड़ता है, if two sentences are joined by WH word or the word that, then it is considered as what? Relative pronoun. This is what we have already done in our previous class, right? Again I am repeating, WH word followed by an helping verb followed by a subject, then that is an interrogative form. But if two sentences are joined by a WH word, then it will be considered under relative form. Now you see the difference. WH word plus helping verb, but here WH word plus subject plus helping verb. When you are writing an interrogative form, WH is followed by helping verb, but when you are writing a relative form, WH will not followed by helping verb. Now here WH will be followed by a subject and then helping verb will come. ये याद रखना, इंट्रोगेटिव फॉर्म में WH के साथ हेल्पिंग वर्ब रहेगा, बट रिलेटिव फॉर्म में WH के साथ हेल्पिंग वर्ब नहीं रहेगा. मतलब WH और हेल्पिंग वर्ब के बिटवीन कौन आएगा? सब्जेक्ट आएगा. गॉट इट? सो ये दोनों पॉइंट आपको आराम से और सही से याद रखना है, राइट? क्वेश्चन का आंसर देख लो, सॉरी रूल का आंसर, हु आर यू, यहाँ पर WH वर्ड प्लस हेल्पिंग वर्ब प्लस सब्जेक्ट, ये इंटरोगेटिव फॉर्म हो गया फॉलोड बाय अ क्वेश्चन मार्क. सेकेंड एग्जाम्पल देखो, आई डोंट नो हु यू आर. तो आई डोंट नो हु यू आर, हियर it is joined by WH word. तो यहाँ पर WH word is not acting as like an interrogative pronoun. Here it is acting as like a relative pronoun. तो अगर relative pronoun के हिसाब से काम कर रहा है तो हम लोग relative pronoun का ही या relative form लेंगे, right? तो WH word followed by subject followed by helping verb. You cannot write I don't know who are you. ये गलत हो जाएगा. Why? Because here WH is acting as a relative form. अगर relative form हुआ तो WH के बाद subject आएगा, उसके बाद कौन आएगा? Helping verb आएगा. बट अगर वो interrogative form हो गया तो WH के बाद helping verb आएगा और उसके बाद आपका subject आएगा. Got it? Next, indefinite pronouns. Now see, this is something that what we need to understand very clearly. Okay? तो indefinite pronouns का rules तो यहाँ पर मैंने आपको दिया है, but let me make it short and make you understand clearly, right? Okay, so now see here, indefinite pronouns has been subdivided into 3 different parts. ये आपके समझने के लिए है, right? Some indefinite pronouns are singular, some are plural, and some are both singular and plural. Right? ये याद रखिए आप. Indefinite pronouns, as I told you, the definition is word spoken in general, not in particular. ठीक है, हम लोग जनरली बात करते हैं, किसी को पर्टिकुलरली पॉइंट आउट नहीं करते हैं, राइट? तो indefinite pronouns has 3 categories. कुछ indefinite pronouns singular होते हैं, कुछ plural होते हैं, कुछ both singular और plural होते हैं. Some indefinite pronouns are singular, some are plural, and some are both singular as well as plural. Okay, how to identify? Now see, this very basic, very easy method. Now let me write here one body thing. If any word ends with, अगर कोई भी word ends with one body or thing, तो वो indefinite singular कहलाएगा, right? Any word ending with one body or thing will be considered as what? Singular. Let me write some words here. Some, any, every, no. Now you can correlate someone, somebody, something, anyone, anybody, anything, everyone, everybody, everything. Right? Now no one, nobody, nothing. Someone, somebody, something. Anyone, anybody, anything. Everyone, everybody, everything. No one, nobody, nothing. Right? तो ऐसे सारे words क्या किससे end हो रहे हैं? One, body और thing. So it will be considered under what? It will be considered under indefinite singular. So indefinite singular pronouns are ending with one body or thing. There are certain more words. Each, राइट. ईच, एवरी, ईदर, नीदर, ये भी तो सिंगुलर है, तो ये भी आपका इंडेफिनाइट सिंगुलर प्रोनाउंस में ही आएगा. Got my point? So indefinite pronouns are something that is spoken in general, not in particular, categorized into three basic way, or categorized as three basic ways: singular, plural, or else both singular and plural. Singular means ending with one body thing, right? And I have given you some words here. You can also take the words like each, every, either, and neither. Now let's come to indefinite plural. Let me take another slide. Indefinite plural. Indefinite plural, right? So singular तो हम लोग समझ लिए. Indefinite plural में कौन कौन से वर्ड में लिखती हूँ? Many, few, a few, then you can write both. Many, few, okay. So many, few, a few. Let me write one more word, that is your both. तो ये सारे वर्ड्स आपके प्लूरल इंडेफिनाइट हैं. बोथ इज प्लूरल, मेनी इज प्लूरल, अ फ्यू इज प्लूरल, एंड फ्यू इज ऑल्सो प्लूरल, राइट. डोंट कंसिडर ए इज एडेड मीन्स इट इज ऑलवेज सिंगुलर, नो, राइट. सो बोथ, few, a few, many will be considered under indefinite plural. Clear? Now let's go to indefinite both singular and plural. Okay, so before going to the next part, means before going to indefinite both singular and plural, let me say you that many is a word that is having certain exceptions. That what we will be learning in the subject verb agreement chapter. Here you remember this much, that indefinite singular I already said. In indefinite plural, many, few, a few, both words, this types of words will come, or else you can say several, right. Whatever word that is spoken in general, not in particular, but it indicates some plural sense, right. We will be taking a plural verb for that, will be coming under indefinite plural. Now let's go through indefinite both singular and plural, right. Both singular and plural. So now here I am writing both singular and plural, right. So here I will give you a word, that word will emphasize everything. Now let me write SANAM, right. Wait, again I am writing that. Both singular and plural, how you have to recognize? By this word SANAM, Sanam. Don't call it as Sanam, okay. So it is Sanam. S stands for some, A stands for any, N stands for none, A for all, M for most. Exception to this we will be reading in the next sessions, but now you remember that indefinite, three categories. Indefinite singular means one body thing, each, every, either, neither. Indefinite plural, many, few, a few, both, several. Indefinite both singular and plural, by this words, that is your Sanam. By these words, that is your Sanam. S stands for some, A for any, N for none, A for all, M for most. These words are both singular and plural depending upon the context, right. In what ways this will be used, I will be making you understand once we start solving the questionnaire. Okay, so now remember this much: indefinite singular, indefinite plural, and indefinite both singular as well as plural. Okay, fine. Now let's go back to the slide. In referring to words ending with one body thing, the pronoun he or she is used according to the context. Now my dear students, I have already said you in the nouns chapter or in the session of nouns that generally we give preference to the gender of male. Generally we used to give the preference to the male gender if the gender is unknown, right. So I shall be glad to help every one of my boys in his studies. Now see, I shall be glad to help everyone of what? Everyone of my boys. So यहाँ पर gender तो पता है, तो यहाँ पर everyone word is ending with one, that's what you have added here, what? His. Okay, many of them were Marathas. Many यहाँ पर क्या हो गया? Plural हो गया. Do good to others. राइट. डिड यू आस्क एनीबडी टू कम, राइट. तो जहां पर एवरीवन, मेनी, अदर्स, एनीबडी यूज होता है या इस तरीके के वर्ड यूज होते हैं, वी कंसिडर देम एज इंडेफिनाइट प्रोनाउंस बिकॉज इट इज स्पोकन इन जनरल, नॉट इन पर्टिकुलर. If one is used as a subject, now यहाँ से question आता है, if one is used as a subject, now people think that if one is given, so normally they take the pronoun of one, or if they consider one as the antecedent and the pronoun they consider as his. No, if one is written, then you have to take one's or else oneself. So if one is used as the subject, nominative case means what? Subjective case, one, and objective pronoun oneself is used. One should do one's duty oneself, or otherwise one must be cautious of one's dressing, right? You cannot write one must be conscious of or one must be cautious of his dressing, galat hoga. One must be cautious of one's dressing. But if you write everyone must be cautious of his dressing, this will come correct, राइट. सो हाउ टू अंडरस्टैंड, अगर वन वर्ड है, अगर ये वर्ड वन है एक सेंटेंस में, तो आप प्रोनाउन क्या लोगे? वंस लोगे और रिफ्लेक्सिव वन सेल्फ लोगे. बट अगर वन किसी दूसरे वर्ड के साथ कंबाइंड है, एवरी वन, एनी वन, नो वन, ईच वन, तो इस केस में आप उसके प्रोनाउन को हिज के आप उसके प्रोनाउन हिज को ही कंसिडर करोगे, राइट. ओके, नेक्स्ट. Plural noun or pronoun is used after of. Now see, this will be briefed you, this will be much discussed in this one subject verb agreement chapter, and generally pronouns and subject verb agreement, many rules are similar and many things matches over here. But here I have just given you the rules of pronouns that is maximally used in this chapter, right? So here what it means, here what I wrote is plural noun or pronoun is used after of, used with each, either, neither. So it is not said like that each है मतलब noun भी आपका singular होगा, either है मतलब noun भी आपका singular होगा, neither है मतलब noun भी आपका singular होगा. No, आपका verb singular हो सकता है if this, each, every, either, these are acting as your subject. But if the word each, every, either, neither is written and followed by of के बाद जो भी word आता है वो आपका plural form ही होता है, right? Exceptions are there, but now in general what you need to understand, if of is there, wherever these words are followed by of, after the word of whatever noun comes, that will be plural. Each of the boys has to come, so each of the boys. Now my subject is what? Each, followed by what? Of. After of the noun is boys, so boys is plural here. Because the word boys is plural here, you should not have to make the word has into have. No, because the subject here goes for each. As each is my subject, that is singular, I have considered here the verb as singular, that is has. But boys must be plural because now see it is preceded by of, right? So if each, either, neither, these types of words are followed by of, after that whatever noun will come, that must be in plural form. But this will not matter with the verb. The verb will be according to the subject of the sentence. If each comes, this is very important, okay, if each comes after the subject, then the verb used will be according to the subject. I told you that the verb, that whatever you are using in a sentence, it will be according to the subject. So if each is acting as the subject, either is acting as the subject, neither is acting as the subject, then then the verb will be singular. But here in rule 4, I am not saying that each will act as your subject. No, here I am saying if each comes after the subject will be something else. The subject will be something else, and after the subject you are writing each. If each comes after the subject, give emphasis here. If each comes after the subject, then the verb used in the sentence will be according to the subject. We each have. Now we each, subject is your we, right? If subject is we is plural, then my verb will be plural. Got my point? Here it never matters, each is written, so you have to make it singular. No, because many a times, 100 times I told you that the verb of the sentence will matter with what? Will matter with the subject. So my subject here is we, so I have to take a plural verb. Here in the before sentence, my subject is each. That's what I have taken a singular verb. Got my point? So we each have advised him to start preparing for competitive. Got it? That means each, either, neither, and after that of. After that noun will be plural. Here the subject will be there, and after the subject the word each is written. Then you have to take the verb as per according to the subject. Next comes your possessive pronouns. I already said you possessive means belongs to, and in nouns chapter we come across possessive word, and that to be with the case of apostrophe. Okay, case of apostrophe, or adding apostrophe s or else of. But here possessive pronouns are totally different. Okay, so not used before nouns. Now remember, possessive pronouns are not used before nouns. Now you see, our school was closed for 4 days. Now school is my noun. The rule is saying you cannot use possessive pronoun before what? Before a noun. But here you use this. That means the statement is wrong. You have to omit as and you have to write what? Replace as with are. Okay. Now possessive adjectives are used before nouns. Possessive adjectives are used before nouns. So this also I explained you in the before class in pronouns part 1. This is my book. अगर वो possessive adjective है तो आप noun के पहले use कर सकते हो. अगर वो possessive pronoun है तो आप उसको use नहीं कर सकते. Right? This is my book. You cannot write this is mine book. Okay? Now possessive pronoun can be used in any sentence as the subject of the verb. Possessive pronoun can be used in any sentence as the subject of the verb. Here I told that possessive pronouns will never come before noun. But here I am saying that it can be used as the subject of a verb. Yours is a new car. So never use apostrophe s. Why we cannot use apostrophe? Because this is already giving you the sense of possession. You cannot use apostrophe and make it again possessive, or else you can say make it superfluous. So yours is a new car. What does it mean? It means your car is a new car. Got it? Now, possessive pronoun can be used as the object of a verb. That means it can be used as a subject of a verb. It can also be used as an object of a verb. But it will not be used before a noun. He has lost my books as well as yours. He has lost my books as well as yours. So now here yours possessive pronoun is acting as what? Acting as your object. Next, in possessive pronoun, apostrophe is not used before s. This thing I told you in the last session, in the session of nouns also, in the session of pronouns part 1 also, that possessive pronouns will not be used with apostrophe s. Now the bear had a ring around its nose. Now here you cannot use apostrophe s. You have to use what? You have to use here the possessive pronoun, that to be without apostrophe s. The bear had a ring around its nose. Okay, next. Fine. Now let's go to the next one, next part, that is your relative pronouns. Now in your examination point of view, relative pronouns is very important in whole of the pronouns chapter, right? We get normally 2 to 3 questions from this section. Now relative pronouns, as I said, WH word asks questions, then that is interrogative form, and the structure will be WH word plus helping verb plus subject. But when WH word used to connect 2 sentences, okay, used to connect 2 sentences, acting as a conjunctive pronoun, acting as a conjunction, or else it is present in the middle of the sentence, then it will be considered under the relative pronoun, and the structure will be, the sentence will be there, and in between the WH word will be there. After this helping verb will not come. After this subject will come, followed by the helping verb. Now let's find the difference between who and whom. Now see in the slides it is very clearly written. There is no requirement of making you understand separately. Now try to listen my words very carefully. Who and whom. So who and whom, ये दोनों word हम लोग mankind के लिए ही use करते हैं. Who and whom are used for mankind. Who आपका nominative केस में लगता है और whom आपका objective केस में, या फिर हाँ आपका objective केस या फिर accusative केसेस में लगता है, right? तो ये समझ लो और ये ऐसे आप पढ़ लो इसको. Who and whom are used for mankind. Who is used for the subjective case or used in subjective case or else nominative case, and whom is used for objective or else accusative case. She is the girl who teaches him. Right? She is the girl who teaches him. He is the actor whom I like most. She is the girl who teaches him. Who teaches him? He is the actor whom I like most. Got it? That means whenever we are talking about mankind, we have to use the word who or else whom. Who for subjective and whom for objective. Next comes the word whose. Whose किस में यूज होता है? Whose is used in possessive case. When you are showing some possession or something is in possessive case, you have to use the word whose. Right? In case if you are talking about relative pronouns. He is the boy whose name is Mohan. This is the table whose color is red. So he is the boy whose name is Mohan. That means boy का नाम ही तो मोहन है ना. That means here it is showing possession. This is the table whose color is red. Table का color ही red है. Here it is showing possession. You cannot use here who and whom. Instead you have to use whose because you are showing possession. Again I am repeating, who and whom for mankind, who for subjective, whom for objective, whose for all possessive case. Next comes your which. Which is used for your non-living as well as animals. Which का इस्तेमाल हम कब करेंगे? जब हम लोग कोई non-living nouns या फिर कोई animals के बारे में बात करते हैं. Remember, which is not used with humans. Humans के लिए already है who and whom. But which किसके लिए use होता है? Non-livings and animals. But which can show or can be used with human beings in one condition. There is one exception of using which with humans. Okay? When you are going to use which with humans, when a human being is doing any choice or selection. याद ऐसे रखना है. Which is used for non-living nouns and animals. Generally, which is not used for humans. Which can be used with human beings in one condition, and the condition is if a human being is going through any choice or selection. Or else you can remember which is used in case of choice or selection. Now the example states, the book which I bought yesterday was very helpful. Talking about the book, non-living, you added here which. The mother knows which of her children is hungry. Now the mother is making a choice. Which of her children? Children is plural. Right? एक माँ देख रही है कि कौन सा बच्चा हंग्री है. That means mother is doing a process of selection here, so you added the word which. But generally, which is used for non-living nouns and animals. Next, rule number 4 is quite important, that sometimes we use the relative pronoun that in the place of who and which. Not all the times. कभी कभी हम लोग relative pronoun that का इस्तेमाल करते हैं किसके जगह? Who and which के जगह. So there are all total 4 conditions where we have to use the word that in reference to, with preference to who and which. So what is my first point related to this? With adjectives and superlative degree. एक sentence में अगर adjective superlative degree में हो, then you cannot use who and which. Instead, you have to use that. When the adjective is in superlative degree, you cannot use who and which. Instead, you have to use that. Go through the example. Kites is the worst movie. आपको जो भी movie है पसंद है, आप इसके kites की जगह लगा लो. Kites is the worst movie that I ever saw. So now here I am doing a choice or here I am doing a selection. अगर choice और selection करें तो हमको क्या लगाना चाहिए? Which लगाना चाहिए. But here I cannot use which because यहाँ पर adjective superlative degree में है. That word is your worst. Right? If I do any choice or selection, I have to use the word which just now we read. But here I cannot use which. Why? Because here the adjective is in superlative degree. And what was that word? That word is worst. So here that's what I have used the word that in the place of who and which. Kites is the worst movie that I ever saw. Next, with words like all, the same, none. ओनली, देखो ये सारे वर्ड्स को याद रखने से अच्छा है कि आप ऐसे याद रख लो इनडेफिनाइट प्रोनाउंस। इनडेफिनाइट प्रोनाउंस के साथ हु और विच नहीं लगेगा। वी डू नॉट यूज हु और विच विथ इनडेफिनाइट प्रोनाउंस, राइट? So he is the same boy that I saw in the market. He is the same, the same. देखो the same, the only followed by that. The same, the only followed by that. तो यहाँ पर the same आ गया. That's what I have used the word that here. Okay. Next. Sentence beginning with interrogative pronouns. Interrogative pronoun क्या होगा? WH word plus auxiliary verb. तो अगर कोई एक sentence, if a sentence बिगिन हो रहा हो, बिगिनिंग विथ इंटरोगेटिव प्रोनाउन से बिगिनिंग हो रहा हो, देन वी कैन नॉट यूज हु और विच, वी हैव टू यूज दैट. What is there that is impossible for God? So now what is interrogative pronoun? That's what it is followed by that. And the last condition, after a pair of antecedent. Here I already made you understand the meaning of antecedent. After a pair of antecedent, and what is that pair? एक person होगा and दूसरा एक animal और non living होगा. If you find a pair of antecedent and the antecedent states what? One a person, another an animal or non living. Now see, the yoga teacher, person, and his dog, animal. तो ये जो pair, his dog, whose dog? Yoga teacher. That means the yoga teacher is the antecedent of what? His dog, right? So the yoga teacher and his dog, that are generally seen around. So now see, the yoga teacher, human or a person, his dog, animal, or else his car, non-living. So yoga teacher and his dog, this pair of antecedent will be taking what? That. Now next, do not use and but before the relative pronoun who and which. Who and which से पहले and but नहीं लगेगा. Shalini is a tall girl and who is the captain of the team? Shalini is a tall girl and who? So who यहाँ पर किस लिए आया? Shalini के लिए आया, right? Because Shalini is the antecedent. So Shalini is a tall girl and who is the captain of the team? तो यहाँ पर and का इस्तेमाल नहीं होगा. You have to remove and. Why? Because here the relative pronoun who is given. So wherever who and which is acting as a relative pronoun, before that you cannot use and or else but. Next, the antecedent of a relative pronoun should not be in possessive case. This rule is also quite important. The antecedent of a relative pronoun should not be in possessive case, right? India began to depend on Kohli's batting. Who? तो यहाँ पर relative pronoun कौन है? Who. What is the relative pronoun here? Who. So what the rule is saying? The antecedent of the relative pronoun, ये who का antecedent कौन है? कोहली. The antecedent of a relative pronoun should not be in possessive case. That means here the relative pronoun is who. The antecedent of who is Kohli. The who is indicating what? Kohli. Who is indicating whom? Kohli. That means here the antecedent of who is Kohli. So the antecedent of the relative pronoun will not be in possessive case. मतलब possessive case मतलब apostrophe s नहीं लगेगा. So if you are not using apostrophe case, what you need to use instead? You have to use the word of. So answer will be India began to depend on batting of Kohli. Instead of Kohli's batting, it will be batting of Kohli. अगर यहाँ पर who नहीं होता, then you can use apostrophe, not an issue. But as the relative pronoun whose antecedent is Kohli, you cannot use apostrophe yes. Instead, you have to use of, batting of Kohli. Next, the relative pronoun what is used with those entities where we do not have any antecedent. Now see, till now what we learned, who and whom is used for mankind, which is used for animals, non-livings. Sometimes it can be used with humans in case of choice or selection. Then sometimes we use that in place of who or which. There are 4 conditions. First condition is your adjective in superlative degree. Second condition with indefinite words or indefinite pronouns. Third condition interrogative word, sentence beginning with interrogative word. Fourth condition is pair of antecedent. One is your human or a person, another one is your animal or non-living. Next we read that the antecedent of a relative pronoun should not be in possessive case. Fine. So here what you are going to learn in rule number 7 is where there is no antecedent case. अगर एक जगह पे कोई antecedent link नहीं है तो वहां पर हम कौन सा relative pronoun का use करेंगे? There we have to use the relative pronoun what. That means the relative pronoun what is used with those entities where we do not have any antecedent. Now see, I can make a guess what he must have done. Now I and he, here there are two pronouns. Do you really find any word here that what acts as the antecedent? No, that's what we have used here, what you have been told is of no value today. What you have been told is of no value today. So here again you have used the relative pronoun what. Clear? So now this is all about your pronouns. Now pronouns part 1 was done before, and here in this session I have completed pronouns part 2. Now whole of the pronouns chapter is with you. Now students, do watch once you start watching the video, means do watch it till the end. Then only you will understand the concept, then only you will get to know what are the important things that matters. And once you come across watch the video time by times or time by times, then only you will get to know the difference, you will get to understand this. Just only you listen, definitely you will go for the questions whatever you are getting over there in the error detection part, you can easily solve it out, right? And again I am repeating, do watch the videos till end. Do not forget to like, share and subscribe my channel, and this will encourage me, this will motivate me just to bring out new videos for you people. Soon I will be starting the questionnaire session, and I have got some of the email IDs in my personal window. Fine, again I will be giving you my number, and I will be giving you the Telegram link over there so that you can join me and you can clear out your queries and your doubts. Fine, so stay tuned, and hope I will be making out some more new videos on the questionnaire after this part, that will be on your nouns as well as on your pronouns. So stay tuned, goodbye, and stay happy, stay home. Thank you.